Hi guys! In this video, I'm going to show you how to take a collage or 2D illustration and turn it into a hologram. For this, I'm using a holographic display by Looking Glass Factory, and it's honestly so good. It makes you want to stick your hand right through the frame. It looks that good. Looking Glass does have its own 2D to 3D converter for photos. When I've used this method to create a depth map for my collages or illustrations, the algorithm struggles to extract depth from the abstract shapes. And I've found that this method I'm going to show you today works a lot better. In order to follow along with this video, you'll need a couple of things. First thing being a collage or illustration in a PSD, TIFF, or comparable file format that allows you to export different layers as PNGs. Next, you'll need Blender downloaded and ready to go on your laptop. You'll also need the Looking Glass software to preview the hologram on your device. So that's HoloPlay Studio, Bridge, and Alice, the Blender plugin. Finally, you're going to need a portrait or any kind of looking glass, or if you don't have a looking glass at this point in time, access to Blocks, which is the software component of the Looking Glass holographic displays, and more on that at the end of the video. So let's jump in. First, I exported select layers from my PSD file as PNGs. For this, I recommend creating some kind of frame effect as that first layer. I've found that really adds to the impression of depth later on. Then choose other layers that recede kind of further into the background to export as PNGs. I've noticed that landscape collages or landscape illustrations make for a really good first test. Next, import those images as planes into Blender. Toggle on the import images as plane add-on in preferences to do this. And when you import as a shadeless object. This will save you messing around in the shader editor for a minute. And do all this for all the layers and then roughly arrange them. Now, let's make sure that the portrait is recognized by Alice plugin. To do this, we need to select the camera. I like to set the refresh to manual to improve my laptop's performance, as opposed to having it refresh automatically. Next, adjust the clipping start and end to encompass the entire composition and set the focal plane. It's best to keep all objects in the scene as close to the focal plane as possible. First, choose the objects that will be the clearest focus in your composition, and then work from there.
Hi guys, popping in to say that I also added a 3D moon to the scene via a Blender plugin called BlenderKit. You can get a couple of free assets and materials via BlenderKit. And adding one or two 3D objects, even if they're stock objects, adds so much to the scene. Notice here also I added a iridescent material to the furthest background plane. Adding a material that the light bounces off of in an interesting way can add a lot to the scene and add a lot of dimensionality, especially on the looking glass itself.
For render, I often render in 8K so the blocks look sharp. Despite still looking sharp on the display, the lower resolutions look notably blurry on blocks. And this is the final impression. The portrait, the one shown in this video, is the smallest, most affordable, and most popular of the displays. You can follow the link in the description to get $40 off your first display. And if you're not quite ready for a portrait, you can sign up to be on Block's waitlist. Blocks is essentially a software solution for sharing embeddable holograms online. Blocks itself, Blocks platform, is a place where creators and artists can share and enjoy each other's holograms online. Showcasing artwork on the Looking Glass display is seriously such a great tool when presenting work at fairs or shows or even galleries. For 3D artists, it's the perfect way to showcase the three-dimensionality of your artwork, especially stills. You don't really get to show off the sides of your model, right, when you're just sharing stills. So this is a really great way to do that. But also for 2D artists like photographers and illustrators, it's a great way to catch the eyes of new viewers, to push the boundaries without having to alter your work all that much. And I find it to be a really amazing tool. So if you have any questions about this tutorial, about how to convert your art for the Looking Glass, hit me up in the comments below. If not, until next time.